Hard sports all plays. 365, we're making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they work in your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays.
What's going on, everybody? We are here on a power-packed, action-packed Monday of NFL free agency. We got Dylan Loudmouth Brooks playing against the Dallas Mavericks, and a whole lot of other stuff going on right now. So we're going to make sure that we are on top of it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Deb will be with us in just a moment. But we're gonna get right into it. NFL free agency has kicked off, and it's been more than I was expecting. I knew the official league didn't start until Wednesday, so I was kind of waiting for Wednesday to happen, and then all of a sudden, my phone started going off with all these notifications of deals being done. The biggest of which was Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo has gone to the Las Vegas Raiders to reunite, and it feels so good with Josh McDaniel. I am not a fan, personally, of Josh McDaniel or Jimmy Garoppolo for that matter, but maybe they will enjoy each other. Just give you a quick background on what we're looking at. We got Garoppolo, 3 years, $67.5 million, including $34 million guaranteed. I will say this: although I am not a huge Jimmy G fan, this is a great deal for a starting quarterback. If you can get a starting quarterback for $23, $24 million a year, roughly, maybe 22 or so, that's a steal. So shout out to the Vegas Raiders for getting it done. I will say this: I'm not counting the Raiders out of the race in relation to the AFC. But what I will say is this. What's going on, Dev?
What's happening, Ray?
Not too much, man. How you feeling?
I'm hanging in there, man. Busy.
Yeah. Ravens not as busy, or busy cutting people, not cutting checks.
Don't get me started.
I cannot say the same about my Washington Commanders, as we have acquired the chief starting right tackle, as well as locked up our own Deron Payne, making him the highest DT not named Aaron Donald. So I think that's a good sign. Taking care of home. A gentleman and I had a bit of a disagreement on what we think this means and the impact of it, which is fine. But I think that I'm good with it. I think it puts the notice on Chase Young. Hey, all or nothing, because we've drafted D linemen. We spent big money on our D line, and you're looking for a deal. So if you want to get that kind of money, you got to bring that kind of production. And so I'm optimistic that it will bring out the best in him. But speaking of your Ravens, Calais Campbell was released today. Lamar Jackson is still unsigned, and basically, I feel like y'all have said, go ahead. As a Ravens fan, how do you feel right now?
As far as Calais Campbell, that was a big leader, leaving out our locker room, a big voice. But it's still speculation and rumors that it's a possibility that he can come back on a smaller deal, on a 1 year deal, something in that nature. Especially if he don't get picked up by nobody, if he interested in going somewhere else. As far as Lamar, man, I'm still not understanding what's going on. I feel like they should have somewhere in the mutual understanding of what's a good deal for each other. And you just see that Deshaun Watson restructured his contract so it can help the Browns out to go in free agency. So now, if Lamar's still looking for that fully guaranteed contract, maybe you need to bring your number down some now, and maybe that will fit the Ravens ballpark, and now we can get this long-term contract situated. So hopefully that can make something change for us. But I'm kind of disappointed in the Ravens right now. I understand they trying to focus on Lamar and try to see which direction they're gonna go, either with or without him. But um, still, free agency ain't gonna last that long, and these good players that's not going to stay on the market as long either. So Ravens got to figure out something, and they got to figure it out quick. I'm hearing they got like multiple plans, but they need to start showing some of these multiple plans.
Yeah. I don't know what y'all are doing, to be honest. Like, we've talked about the Ravens for a good little bit last couple of weeks, and this just doesn't seem to go in line with the positive direction.
Right.
We've talked about the training staff. We've talked about some of the receivers and the GM. We've talked about Lamar. We talked about Ozzie Newsome. And you need kind of a stabling force. And I feel like that's gone. And so I don't know on the defensive side of the ball who's going to step up necessarily and become that guy. But I think
it's going to be Roquan Smith.
He just got there, a year or two ago?
Just last year, mid-season. But trading away Chuck Clark, it was a oof. That was a low blow a little bit to that defense. I don't think I would have traded Chuck Clark away.
So I don't know what y'all doing. Like, it's a friendly rivalry, DC and Baltimore, but I still want y'all to do well. And I'm not seeing it. I don't know. As I look at the AFC and what it's doing, I'm not seeing it. And if y'all aren't going to give Lamar the money, then what y'all going to do at quarterback? I don't think you start the year with Tyler Huntley as your go-to option.
And I don't think you should go in the draft and try to herb and groom one either.
Well, y'all drafting, nothing's going to be available. Now, if you trade Lamar to go up and get somebody, I guess that's an option. But
I still don't think that's a good option.
I don't even know how that option works without him signing his tender. Because you would be trading him based on a tag he hasn't signed.
Right.
So I don't know exactly how that would work. Maybe whoever gets him is then responsible. So you got to make sure you have some already in place before you make that deal.
I'm pretty sure they're going to tell Lamar, like, look, before we trade, man, you going to sign this deal? What's up?
Yeah. So he got a lot of leverage even on that side. Because if he don't sign an extension, you ain't getting a number 1 or top 10 pick.
Right.
Without him. So I don't know. Baltimore, it looks a little different than it used to. But speaking about Baltimore, Pat Peterson. Did you hear the news?
No.
Patrick Peterson is a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
How does that make you feel? Does that bother you? Are you not concerned? Is he past his prime? Is that not ideal? Since y'all don't know who your quarterback is?
Right now it's not a big deal. Patrick Peterson is one of my favorite corners of all time. And I just think now he's past his prime. Now, can he pass his IQ to the game and to the young guys? Yes, most definitely. That's most definitely can make Pittsburgh a better defensive team because he bring a high IQ. But far as him making big plays like as he used to in his prime, I don't see too many of those. Unless it's going to be gimmies. That's the only way I can see him making some, big impact. But good move for Pittsburgh, to try to patch that hole up for right now until they can find some corners even to draft, or maybe they can go ahead and try to trade for what's that? Slay from the Eagles. But it looks like the Eagles is falling apart right now.
Which I did not anticipate. I guess this is what happens when you pay, but they haven't paid Hurts yet, did they?
No, not yet.
So I
All
don't
they
know
did,
why.
they paid AJ Brown when he got there.
Yeah, but man, like they losing half the defense.
They losing coaching staff. They losing defensive
They
players.
have both coordinators. Kelsey's coming back.
Well,
Well,
I guess that you could say that Jalen Hurts got his center for one more year.
that's exciting. Yeah, Philly fan. Phillies go. Philly go. Fly Eagles fly. So you didn't seem super excited about one cornerback. There was another cornerback that's on the move. The Los Angeles Rams are officially rebuilding.
Oof.
They are blowing up that team in those bad contracts. And they have shipped Jalen Ramsey to the Miami Dolphins. I've seen it on paper. That defense looks like something. However, the same way you have concerns about Patrick Peterson, I too have concerns about Jalen Ramsey. What I will say is that getting to practice against Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill every day will definitely make him an even better corner.
Mm-hmm.
However, father time is father time. So it was a third rounder and a tight end. It wasn't like they gave up a lot to get him. So for that reason, I'm definitely going to say they won this deal and they got to deal with the money. I don't know how Miami's going to pay all these people, but I guess that's why you didn't pay Tua or sign a quarterback, because you needed money to bolster the defense. They did go and get was it Stidham? No, Stidham went. Yeah, I think they got Jared Stidham as the backup in Miami. They signed some oh no, it was Mike
White. Mike White.
Mike White. Not the direction I would have went in. He's a cool story, but this is like real life, and you're betting everything. And Tua's going to get hurt. We know that. So Mike White is going to have to play. That is interesting. That is very interesting. So best of luck, Miami. I see what the defense, I see what you're doing. But although I don't believe you have to have a great quarterback, you got to have somebody competent and available to throw the ball. And I don't know that has been addressed at all. Your thoughts on the big trade, Jalen Ramsey to the Dolphins?
Like you said, I got a lot of concerns too about Jalen Ramsey. Because at times you can see he can get beat. Mike Evans then showed that multiple times. But also, the Dolphins have a solid defense where he doesn't have to be the main guy all the time. They do have what's this guy's name? Xavier Howard, I believe that's his name, down there. They do have Bradley Chubb that can most definitely pressure the quarterback. And they got some other guys down there. I don't know too much about their roster right now, but they got some other guys that the Dolphins defense really kept them alive while they was having quarterback issues last year. So it looks like Jalen Ramsey it's a good fit for him, because like I said, he's not the guy. He don't have to play the number one wide receiver all the time. Jalen Ramsey can play the slot corner also too. So that's also a bonus for him. So you can kind of plug him and kind of hide him a little bit, where he doesn't have to be in the big moments all the time, where he maybe can have a revamped career a little bit this year. But like you said, Father Time is undefeated. So we will see. Because I think the Dolphins defense is going to have a lot of opportunities this year. Especially if the Dolphins don't address that offensive line. If they can't protect Tua, then that Dolphin defense is most definitely going to have to be out there. And like you said, he's going against Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, who just won that 600-meter race. Cooked them guys. So He's about to have some tough battles.
All right. I'm sorry about that. Something got in my throat. But yeah, it's an exciting day. In the NFL, a lot of moving parts, moving pieces. One thing that has not moved is Kirk Cousins' contract extension. It was fully guaranteed. They let Adam Thielen go. I have been skeptical of Dalvin Cook. Patrick Peterson is now gone as well. Do you extend Kirk Cousins, or is Minnesota heading for a rebuild? And if you're heading for a rebuild, what do you do with Justin Jefferson? Go.
It looks like they might be heading towards a rebuild because you see that Zadarius Smith didn't want to take a pay cut, and he actually, had agreed to come to the Ravens, and then said, "No, I want to go to Minnesota." So now, look at him now. If Minnesota is going on the rebuild, I don't know which direction you want to go now. It's going to be hard because Kirk Cousins is not going to get you a Super Bowl. So is if you're going to go into a rebuild, I think you need to find your quarterback in the draft now, so you can maybe go ahead and have Kirk Cousins for this 1 year, and hope that the next guy can be your guy. And as far as Justin Jefferson, you got to keep him. You got to have some type of attraction where somebody want to come there and ball with him.
Right. So what keeps him there if you don't keep Kirk Cousins?
Coaching staff. I don't high hopes. I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's gonna be hard because Justin Jefferson, you're gonna want at least about 3 number ones. I would
absolutely.
I will hope, because he is like top wide receiver, top 5 this year.
All right, we got really quick. Couple updates I just read here. The quarterback Josh Allen and Von Miller are creating approximately $32 million in salary cap space by restructuring their contracts. So it looks like Buffalo will be loading up $32 million, a lot of money.
They all in.
You can go get somebody with $32 million. Jameis Winston, text Josina Anderson, said he is going back to New Orleans. So he'll be going back to New Orleans. I heard Baker Mayfield, Tampa. I don't like it at all, but we'll see. Former Cardinals DN Zach Allen is going to the Broncos. So they're going to get some more defensive help, which I didn't think they really needed. But
the Broncos is loading up on that side.
Former Vikings linebacker Eric Kendricks is signing with the Chargers. So another Viking bites the dust. They're out of here.
Bro, it's safe to say who's going to win that division now.
Yeah. Broncos have been active. They signed a tight end. Don't know who this guy is. Marcus Davenport. Is that the DB? Or who's Marcus Davenport? Is that a different guy?
That sound familiar.
Eagles are losing safety Marcus Epps to the Las Vegas Raiders. Sam Darnold is going to the 49ers. So
they need a quarterback right now. They need somebody right now, because
you got to think Darnold. He's trash.
Who else is out there?
I don't know, but there's better people than him. There's me and you. Like, God, dog.
Now, I'm not saying that Sam Darnold is about to light the league up or nothing, but
if I was taller, I'm better than him.
Look, man, you need some type of something in that position, just for the whole Brock Purdy and
they have
Trey Lance
early draft picks. Do they have somebody's draft picks early or something? This doesn't make any sense. They don't have a quarterback. Trey Lance and what's the other boy? Brock Purdy. So
that's why I said. That's why they got Sam Darnold.
Purdy, Darnold, and Lance.
But right now, maybe they'll cut. Maybe they'll let Donald go once training camp comes to see which quarterback is going to be fine, or if both quarterbacks going to be fine.
I don't know if I'd say biggest. I think the Eagles and Ravens are not looking great. The Bears seem like they making some moves. They're spending a lot of money. They gave Tremaine Edmonds the largest 4-year contract for an inside linebacker in NFL.
What was that, 72 mil? Something like that?
I don't know if he was worth that, but more power to him.
The Bears starting somewhere. They gave Justin Fields some help.
They did. The Jags got some offensive line help. Stole somebody from the Chiefs. Oh no, the Chiefs got an offensive lineman from the Jaguars that lost somebody. So the Chiefs replaced the lineman and they lost the lineman. Case Keenum, somehow he keeps robbing people, getting jobs.
The Ravens lost the lineman today. We lost Ben Powers.
Where'd he go?
Man, I forgot. Give me a second.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a downgrade of quarterback. I don't care what y'all say about Derek Carr. Jimmy G is not an upgrade, and he ain't gonna be there all year. And that division is gonna get better. It can't get a lot worse. Denver can't be worse than last year. They can't be. The Chargers, I don't know. We're gonna talk about Austin Ekeler here in a minute. If he's gonna be back, and then Keenan Allen, they didn't release him yet, did they? I know there was talks about it.
There was talks about it. I don't think they released him yet.
I don't think they released him. So,
Ben Powers went to the Broncos.
Oh, see, Broncos, they trying.
But the Vikings did get a tight end from us. They got Josh Oliver. I don't know if that's gonna make a big deal, but
oh, okay, cool, good deal. Whoever that guy is.
He was like our third, fourth string tight end.
Tackle Draymond Jones plans to sign with the Seahawks. Game-wrecking player, had a bunch of stuff for the Broncos last year. He's only 26 years old. Apparently, according to Adam Schefter and Jordan Schultz, this is a massive get. Broncos got Bob. Oh, I was about to say, you have a San Francisco logo there, but you're saying Broncos and Hour. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not worried about the Broncos. I still think it's like a 3, maybe 4-team race. If Miami keeps a competent quarterback, they're in it. Kansas City's in it. Buffalo's in it. And out of that, Cincy. I'm gonna leave Cincy in there for now. But outside of that,
I know one team we're gonna talk about. Do they make them a competition team?
Are we? Who? The Jets? No. They can leave that caveman in a cave. They let Mike White go. So I guess that opens the door. Listen, Aaron Rodgers was trash in the Wisconsin media. What do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to be like in the New York media? As the savior of the Jets?
It is so ironic that him and Brett Favre go to the same exact team after they lead the Packers.
It's because they're very similar. Underachievers. Liars.
Ooh.
Manipulators. Horrible human beings.
Ooh.
Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Got to give them that much. But that is interesting that they're going to the Jets. If he left the Jets and went to the Vikings, I'm out. I'm out. If they did that, that would be wild. That would be super, super wild.
Oh, yeah, the get back tour.
Damian, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's where I was going next. Rod, I agree with you. Just for clarity, Rod, we're on the same page here. And I know I got to get back to you. I didn't forget, just been really busy. If Ekeler gets traded, how bad would the Chargers struggle? The Chargers struggled enough with Ekeler. Did you watch the last playoff game, Damian? it was atrocious. Absolute disaster, collapse, choke, blah, blah, blah. Unacceptable. So I don't think he makes a difference either way. Obviously, he's a very valuable back, but he's had a ton of touches. I believe we got 1 or 2 more years of Austin Ekeler as a viable top tier running back. So I don't think it makes a difference. I wouldn't give him the money. I'd trade him. I'd trade him while his value is high. It might suck for a year, maybe 2, but it'll be better. You'll be better off. I just don't think his body can stand up, and he's just old. So that's my 2 cents. Would you trade Austin Ekeler, or would you try and pay him and keep him?
Trade him. I'm not a fan of him either. He gets a lot of touches. The Chargers are going to have a setback, especially if they get rid of Keenan Allen. That's a lot of touches is going to be gone because the Chargers wasn't really a running team. The Chargers was more of a passing team anyway, and Ekeler was more of a drop off type. You know, what I mean, just to get him a couple yards. And he did everything else himself. They didn't really utilize him as a running back, and maybe it could be because of his age. But I trade him. I trade him now while his value is high and get anything I could possibly get it because it look like I don't know which way the Chargers is going either. They bring in Kellen Moore, but it seems like everybody wants to leave now, or they trying to get rid of everybody. Yeah. So I don't know which direction they're going, but I would trade Ekeler as fast as I can.
And some more breaking news. I do agree. Like I said, I'm getting him out of there. Allegedly, Jimmy Ward will likely be going to the Texans. Obviously, used to play with D'Amico Ryans, so obviously he's not trying to win a ring. Hopefully, he gets a lot of money because the Texans are atrocious.
They just got fined not too long ago.
Yeah, they're going nowhere. Jameis deal will be up to $8 million with no starting opportunities. So I guess he's just going to collect his check, which it ain't a bad living to be a backup quarterback. That is not a bad way to make a living.
Yeah, Jameis, I had high hopes for him, but I think his time is almost up.
Yeah. Patrick Peterson, 2 years, $14 million, 5.85 guaranteed to the Steelers. Yeah, so a lot of stuff going on. I will also say, the Giants have agreed to free agent linebacker Bobby Okereke. 4 years, $40 million, $22 million guaranteed. So the NFC East got a little better. I will say I am very happy to see all these Eagles players leaving. Yeah, because they talk a lot of trash, and it was really, really tough. And it's convenient that Chris, if you watch this back, I'm calling you out.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
It is. It's NFL free agency day, and Chris and his Eagles are nowhere to be found. Conveniently, Kenny and his Cowboys and their inactivity today also nowhere to be found. Kenny, just kidding. I know you told us where you're going to be, but I got to give you a hard time. So yeah, it's going to be.
Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.
Absolutely, we will. Yeah. Outside of that, not too much. A lot of movement, not the biggest of names. And Rod, you say some wild stuff. Rod, if you could give me a prediction for Jimmy G. What is the Raiders' record and what are his stats? Are we talking 30 touchdowns? How many picks? How many yards? How many games played? What's a big year? Let's put big year into perspective. And the Patriots are not going to make.
He said Jimmy G's having a big year.
He's about to have a big year.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So we really bring them out. We got Rod and Damian, great people. John Jones, I haven't heard his name yet, so hopefully that means he's staying out of trouble. Speaking of people getting into trouble and seemingly getting out of it, Shawn Kemp, ladies and gentlemen, The Rain Man. Let it rain. This is mostly speculation. I have not done super thorough research, but I do know enough at this point. Are you familiar with Shawn Kemp and what happened?
Yep.
All right. So in life, you have choices that you can make. And sometimes people make the wrong decision. Some people like to lie. Some people like to cheat. Some people like to steal. What always seems to get forgotten about or left out is the consequences of stealing from people. O.J. Simpson got robbed. That didn't go well. Shawn Kemp allegedly, and Dev, fill in the blanks where I'm wrong or inaccurate or missing context, had something taken from him. Mm-hmm. Shawn Kemp played in the NBA for a long time. Relatively wealthy man, I believe. Maybe he's made some bad investments. I don't know. But what I do know is that you are still Shawn Kemp. If someone takes your iPhone, I would like to believe you are in a position to get it back. We saw Meek Mill went to Africa and they got his cell phone back. Quickly, I might add. So I just feel like this could have been handled real different. I will say this. I'm glad everybody's okay. It sounds like Shawn Kemp is going to be okay. He didn't just go off the deep end. There was a reason. But if someone shoots at me, I don't know. I don't know if I'm staying to shoot back or I'm just leaving, trying to get out of there. At this point in my life, I just don't know if it's worth it. Like, there's so many things that can go wrong when you're shooting back in a parking lot. Like, I just feel like a lot of things could have gone wrong. I am glad everyone is safe. Shame on those who reported this as a drive-by shooting, which was initially how this was reported, which was crazy to me. But yeah, just an unfortunate situation. But ultimately, just glad everybody's alive. Your thoughts?
First, man, I was a little bit crushed when I first seen that Shawn Kemp was in this situation. I was like, what? No, man, he was like the guy that was mainly trying to bring the Supersonics back to Seattle. He's advocating for that. And he's like the front leader. Him and GP's the front leaders of that. And I was like, yeah, man. I said, well, was he in self-defense mode, or was he just the head honcho said, I need to go get my gat? But like you said, I'm glad nobody got hurt. And the one thing, when I seen that nobody got injured or anything in this nature, the first thing that came to mind is one of my favorite movies. Oh man, I forgot what's the name of it that quick. It's with LL Cool J and Omar Epps.
It's a movie?
Yeah, man. Oh man, I can't think of it. In Too Deep. That's what it is. In Too Deep.
Yeah.
And the scene where Omar Epps had to kind of do the drive-by shooting, and he didn't want to actually hit the dude, so he just hit everything that was around him. So that's what I thought about when I seen this report. I was like, dang, that's what happened. Wow. But like you said, I'm glad nobody got hurt though. Yeah. Secondly, another thing is like you said, man, what do you do at this time and age when something is taken from you? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, you take my phone, you might can just go ahead and have it, honestly. I especially if you have a weapon on me. If you got a gun on me and I don't have mine, then hey, you can have the phone because I'm gonna just go ahead and just turn my iCloud off. You know what I mean? And what you gonna do with a shell of a phone? But if it's self defense, then by all means you do have to protect your life. So hopefully that's what I was hoping that it is. It was self defense. Hopefully he ain't out here trying to be like run Seattle streets, trying to be like the kingpin of Seattle, man, nothing in that nature, and trying to let that Rain Man name actually go to a different aspect of life. But like I said, I ain't really got too much other than that to say on that. But it was just like shocking when I seen his name popped up in the drive-by part. Like whoever report, I don't know who they asked, but that whoever did that story must have got like in the fifth person story. He must have got it at late. He didn't get it in right detail, or she didn't get in the right detail.
Yeah, like I said, I'm glad. One, cops, minority. I'm glad everybody's alive. Glad nobody got hurt, but I get it. He's big. He had a gun. You feel emboldened. Call the cops. Like, when you rich, if I can track my iPhone, they can track my iPhone. They can approach the car. They can get my stuff back. Simple. To me, but that's me. But again, glad everybody's all right. Who is not all right? The Phoenix Suns.
Ooh.
I would like to call Jay Ness. Is Jay Ness available? I remember when the trade went through.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
I am in a group chat with a number of Phoenix Suns fans. And when the trade went through, they stuck their heads up, poked their chest out, bellowed from the rooftops. I ask, where are y'all now? Who is your king? And what is going to happen? No, but in all seriousness, shout out to Kevin Durant. Hopefully returns quickly. I don't understand what's going on with him. Like, his frame has always been slender. Like, he was in layup line. Like, when you start getting injured like that,
he wasn't in the layup line. He was by himself.
Like, I don't know. I don't think that's a good sign. When you've been out and you get injured like that, that's like I slept wrong and now my back hurt and I can't move. Like, I would be real cautious. I'd be real cautious. I do hope he gets back. I do hope he stays healthy. But I think their window is really small. With Booker, Ayton, Paul, and Durant. So I hope for the best for them, but not a good look. And they got a little run ahead of them as far as positioning. Let me pull it back up. Memphis is beating Dallas, but nobody's playing in that game, so I don't really care. The Rockets are beating the Celtics, and Tatum and Jaylen Brown are playing, but nobody else really appears to be. So best of luck to them. But yeah, when I pull up the standings, if I'm Phoenix, I'm sitting at 4. 4 is good. But the Clippers have started cooking. Kawhi magically keeps finding his way on the court. Minnesota is up big and is.
I think he out of load management.
They ain't dead yet. Oklahoma City has entered the play-in chat. New Orleans has fallen out. Houston and San Antonio have been eliminated. So good luck with them. Denver still headed above shoulders, but lost 3 in a row. So if I'm Phoenix, we might get a new John Morant, a new focused John Morant when he comes back from Florida. For those of you who have been watching, he did get checked into a place in Florida, and my understanding he's getting the help that he needs. So shout out to him. Hope that is for the best. Hope it's quickly. Hopefully he comes back healthy and whole. From what I understand, Coca-Cola has pulled their ad spot. So, yeah, a lesson learned. Definitely a lesson learned for young Ja, and hopefully he gets back and picks up where he left off. For you, if you're Phoenix, are you still optimistic because you have KD? Are you pessimistic because he can't stay healthy? Like, how do you feel if you're a Phoenix Suns fan?
See, I had said this before, man. I said if something goes wrong with that top four, you know what I mean, who's gonna fill in? Who's gonna come off that bench? I see the one dude, I probably can't pronounce his name, was like Azabuki, I forgot your name. But he playing good off the bench. But other than that, who can you rely with off the bench now? You know what I mean? And you got rid of Cameron Payne, you got rid of Michael Bridges. I mean not Cameron Payne, you got rid of Cam Johnson. So who can you rely on now? You know what I mean? Now you about to put the load back on Booker again and hope that Booker can have a strong night each night. And we already don't believe in Aiden no more, at least us two. Kind of just fell off you was never on the wagon, but I kind of fell off the wagon of Aiden, and I'd be skeptical this year. Like you said, this window is real short. You know what I mean? And if Golden State can find a way to keep winning, and do you really want to match up with them in the playoffs? Even though it'd be a good matchup, but far as depth of the bench or depth of a team, Golden State will win that battle. So, if I'm Phoenix fans, I will most definitely start being cautious and start thinking of what's going to be in the next couple years.
Yeah, definitely think they have some decisions to make. Obviously, the new owner made a big move to go get Durant, which you got to respect. Hey, here's another thing. Phoenix Suns fans, point guard fans, Mikal Bridges look like a different player in Brooklyn. So I know y'all kept telling me he couldn't play. I said he need to step up. I did. But I also said I think he's capable. For whatever reason, he wasn't on it. Now, if that's Booker,
I think it was that system. It was that system.
He looked like a different player in Brooklyn.
You put that man in the corner too much in Phoenix. He wasn't that's not his game. He is the guy that you can see he's running off picks. He can shoot the ball better than you know what I mean. So that's that. I think that's his game. And him and Spencer Dinwiddie is making a good backcourt.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. So go Brooklyn. I'm kinda not really. I don't like how I did Kyrie, but
right.
I want the black players to do well. So God bless. So my question, we'll go back to it. Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
You said, I think it was you that said he might need to come down off his number if he wants the guaranteed money.
Mm-hmm.
If I see what Jimmy G got, I see what Daniel Jones got. I see what Deshaun Watson got and how he restructured. I see Josh Allen just restructured. What do you think it would take to get Lamar Jackson signed? And does he want to play in Baltimore anymore?
I think he still want to play here. I most definitely can see him still playing here too. On that tag, nah, I wouldn't do it if I was him. But far as that deal to get Lamar, it's looking like it's going to have to be if he want a fully guaranteed contract. it looks like it's going to have to fall in between that 200, 198 type of fully guaranteed deal, especially if you're trying to win. You know what I mean? You got to leave some money to get some weapons to come there, especially if you're talking about trying to trade for D-Hop, if you're trying to go out here and try to find some type of wide receiver, because if the Rams blowing it up, what's the chances? What's the likely you can go out there and try to find Cooper Kupp for a price now? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's like a real good destination to go get, but if the Rams are blowing everybody up, then I would knock on the door and see how much Cooper Kupp is worth. I'm pretty sure they're gonna want a couple first rounds or try to get a high value what they can get out of him now. So if I say about if he was looking to get that 230 fully guaranteed, and you just see Deshaun just restructured, you see Josh Allen just restructured, you most definitely, I say, come down to at least 200 mil then.
It's tough, man. I don't know if I'm Lamar. I do know if I'm Lamar. If I'm Lamar, I want everything I believe I'm owed.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at the landscape, nobody really got my resume or have a better resume besides Mahomes.
Right.
I got the MVP. So I can see how it would be difficult to take less than anybody else or be first. I don't want to necessarily beat Herbert to the deal. I don't want to beat Burrow to the deal. Now, Burrow did go to the Super Bowl, so that counts for something.
And he won a division twice.
Yeah, Lamar's won a division too, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, Burrow got just going to the Super Bowl appearance is kind of a like more of a statement kind of than MVP a little bit. Because when that's the following year when the Bengals kind of got that playoff run again, it was like, oh man, if the Bengals get back to the Super Bowl, what do we say about Joe Burrow now?
And I agree with you, Rod, to a certain extent. I think this is the issue. If I'm Lamar, why would I want to be there? Other than if they pay me. And if it ain't about money, or not if it's not about money, but if everybody got money, why?
Right.
And like, if I look at Washington, if I look at the Jets, if I look at Tampa, I look at LA. Nah, they still got Stafford, so I wouldn't say LA. I look at San Fran. Like, there are places that have potential and probably can make the money work.
Right.
So I wish, as a fan, I heard more from Lamar, so we knew what it is that he wanted, to know if they're even close, or if he's being unreasonable. But right now, we just don't know.
Right.
And I don't think that's good for anybody. I do think it would be wise of the Ravens to go out and get players and assume he's going to be there and figure out a way to get somebody like D-Hop, Mike Thomas, somebody. Denver said some of their receivers might be available. Whether
especially if Keenan Allen get put to the free agency too. You know what I mean? Hopefully he's a good veteran.
There are options available at receiver that I believe will come available. They just got to take advantage of it. You might got to, like the Jets did, like the Jags did, you might got to overspend. But you got to do something. But it's hard to overspend also when you don't know what the heck you got to pay your quarterback. Or if I know what my quarterback is asking and I know what the market is, what are you going to do? And Rod, that's a whole nother issue. If I'm a receiver or a skill position player, I would have a lot of concerns coming there with that.
We got rid of that strength and conditioning coach, so he's done.
Is the staff gone or just he's gone? Do you know?
I know so far. I know that he's gone. I don't know if the whole staff is gone yet, but I do know he's gone.
So it will be very, very interesting to see what happens next year. But speaking of a team that may have overpaid, may have not overpaid, Danny Dimes, ladies and gentlemen, got money. I would not have given him this much money. If Jimmy G got like 22, 23 a year, Danny got almost double that at 40 a year. Like, I know y'all had a nice little run, but my goodness. Like, that was a lot of money to me. And y'all they stuck now. They stuck at least for 2 years. There's probably some way they can get out of it or something on the back end, but I do agree he played well down the stretch. I also saw a stat that said he's like the only quarterback ever or something to like never throw for more interceptions than touchdowns every year for 3 straight seasons. Like, I get he had a nice couple games on some big statements. He's still Danny Dimes. Like, $40 million a year. That's nuts to me. I just don't. I don't know. The Ravens trying to give Lamar 140 for 8 years. Well, that wouldn't be smart. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that deal either.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was a typo, but there's no way Danny got 4 for 140 and the Ravens are offering 8 for 140. Like, I don't know about that.
Inaccurate news.
So, but yeah, Danny Dimes got it done in spectacular fashion. Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. He's never thrown for 20 touchdowns in the last 3 straight years. 11, 10, and 15. And the 15 was in a year with 17 games in it. Like, he doesn't even average a touchdown a game.
But hold on, is that throwing or is that just all a tough?
That is throwing. He does run. I'll give you right. He does run some. I don't know how many touchdowns he scores running, but he does run. So yeah, that's a lot. That was a lot of money. As a Washington fan, I'm good with it. Now we got to figure out how to stop him because he cooked us. He ran all over us. And hopefully, with us paying our defensive tackle, he will take the money and excel, not get fat and lazy. And I don't think he's that kind of player. So I am confident that we will bounce back and do great things because we got a bunch of running quarterbacks in our division. And one of them don't even like to run. But if he did, they would be better than they currently are. Let me see here. Okay, we're moving right along. DeMarcus Walker. I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is? Is that a
obviously it must be something. For Damien to report it.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't think he's that great because his money's pretty low. But I wish him the best. Yeah, it looks like he only got 114 tackles in his career. I don't know who this guy is, but hopefully he's maybe a young talent. I do want the Bears to be good. I think the division is takeable. Right now, today, I have the Lions as the favorite to come out of that division. You heard it here first. But we'll see kind of how the draft and free agency plays out.
I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to say Chicago.
We'll win the division?
I'm going to go on a limb.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got breaking news. We got I am going to clip this. Dev has the Chicago Bears going from the number 1 pick in the draft to winning their division in 1 year. After they traded out of the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
All right.
I so far they making noise, and
I like the trade.
Yeah,
You could have got a little bit more, but the receiver, I can't. DJ Moore's he's a baller.
Yeah, He's like he remind me of AJ Brown a little bit. Not as big, but as physical as the physical wide receiver. But I like Justin Fields. He got a nice arm. He most definitely got a good IQ, and he most definitely can play backyard football when need to be. I was just watching some of his highlights of his top 5 runs of last season. I was like, dang, I didn't know he did some of these runs. You know what I mean? He didn't get enough credit. So almost definitely him having a wide receiver. Hopefully they can get a running back, and if that defense can make some noise, I don't know. It's like the Lions is. I believe in the Lions. I believe they can make the playoffs, but they just some strange reason they just can't just get over that hump somehow.
They're going to get better.
They keep stepping in their own way. They let Jacksonville beat them to the playoffs first.
Hey, Jacksonville had a heck of a run. I ain't gonna hold you. But Jacksonville spent the money. They've drafted well. They've traded well. They've done the necessary things.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it takes. Detroit, they've had a couple signings so far. I don't know if ladies and gentlemen, the pot just got hot. Dev, feel free to screenshot this. If I cared enough, I'd get down on this bet because I do not think the Bears are going to the division. He does need an O-line. I will say this. I said it last year. I believed in Jalen Hurts. I believed that Jalen Hurts could take the next step, and he took a giant step. And he had a lot of help. I do believe Justin Fields is capable of taking a similar size step with help. They need to shore up the O-line, get a consistent running game, not just passing running backs or running backs that can run the ball consistently and not get hurt, and another wide receiver. Moore is great, but they need one more.
They got Claypool, and hopefully Mooney can stay. I think that's his name. Mooney can stay healthy up there. And if I'm not saying if they dynamic or they can change the game, but Mooney was all right wide receiver, but he just can't stay healthy.
And Claypool has had issues staying healthy as well. That's my concern.
But most definitely a running back. Most definitely,
they should be better. Rod, I would love to say it, but you'll never hear me say it. I ain't jinxing us. We'll see what happens. We need a quarterback still, though.
So, quick question.
Talk about it.
Ekeler want to get traded. Did the Bears go Austin Ekeler?
No running back.
Yeah. Did you go trade? Did you go trade? Should the Bears go trade him? Trade for him? Like I said, he is that one. He is that running back that can come out the backfield and.
But that's the thing. I don't think they need him. They got David Montgomery, who's like that. They need.
All right. What about
They need somebody that can pound the rock and you can play action off of.
I got one. Kareem Hunt.
You think he can take the pounding for a season?
I think so.
Now, if you would have told me the other Cleveland running back.
Oh, the Browns not letting Nick Chubb go.
I know.
they not letting him go, especially now they got Deshaun and Amari Cooper. No, I wouldn't let him go.
No, I mean, they'd be idiots to do so. I'm just saying.
But I think Kareem Hunt is a free agent, if I'm not mistaken.
He is.
Yeah, so I would go ahead and pick him up.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the fix. I need to know more about the running. And have any running backs got signed?
Not that I seen.
I don't think so either.
I'm still waiting to see. Or I just forgot about this. Derrick Henry on the trading block.
I don't know if they got Derrick Henry money. It's going to take a king's ransom to go get King Henry.
You probably rather give up Justin Fields and DJ Moore to go get him.
Yeah. That's interesting. They're very interesting. I don't know, but yeah, I don't think we've had a big time running back signed yet, which is interesting because I think it was a pretty good market for running backs.
Yeah, but a lot of running backs like Zeke wanted to go back to their respective teams for these low deals. So if they're not looking to get paid, they ain't looking to go, and they're not looking to go elsewhere. Then how I mean, what do you do? How do you find them? Like I said, Kareem Hunt most definitely kind of don't want to go back to the Browns. He want to be the guy right now. He still feel like he's the guy.
And I hear that, like rightfully so. But it's just different when you become the man. I didn't realize Connor McGovern left Dallas, and he went to Buffalo. So Dallas lost an old lineman.
Dak he coming over interception.
Talk about it. He like to do that. Yeah, I'm kind of looking through here. There are no running backs. Robert Woods got paid to go play in trash Houston. More power to you. I ain't mad at you, player. Play on, player. Get that money, man. But Houston ain't going nowhere.
And
at
least not right now.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Go ahead.
It's going to take some years.
Man, I got a fullback getting signed before running back on this list. Finally, Matt Breed, who's the fullback? Andrew Beck went from Denver to Houston. But the running backs are the two lowest on the list. This is compiled by Money. Mike Boone went to Houston. Houston has been super active, actually. On a bunch of people, I don't know who they are, but they at least active. So I guess
why? Because D'Amico Ryan trying to set a culture down there.
I'm with that.
If you can set a culture first, you know what I mean. The other things will come later.
I mean, and I completely respect that. I understand it's not easy to do. Yeah, he's not getting that. I don't know why he thinks he's getting that. I would, if I'm Chicago, I think you can buy low on somebody like Robbie Anderson. I think is a better fit than Claypool for me. I'm with that. I think the Jags definitely can. I think they should. Bud Dupree is out there, but the running backs just are not. Marcus Peters is out there, Fletcher Cox. So it's still a lot of big names to be determined. A lot of these names will not be on teams ever again. So, so you do have that. Randall Cobb, good luck. Best.
Like I said, now what's the guy that you feel like is not going to be on the team again?
Oh, and this list, a lot. I think a lot. Marcus Mariota, you better get to work. Devin McCourty, he might have another run around the sun.
I thought he retired. I thought one of McCourty's retired.
Did he? He's just on the list. I could be wrong. That's probably it. Chase Edmonds, they're running Rashad Penny. Good luck.
He can't stay healthy.
Mason Rudolph.
All the time got him.
Yeah. Byron Pringle.
I haven't heard him since COVID.
Eli Apple.
Yeah, he gonna be the XFL.
That's something to think about, especially these running backs. Jarvis Landry.
I think that's another one that might can still get a job somewhere late in the training camp, but yeah, it's coming to an end for him too.
I don't know if he's announced, but Mercedes Lewis and Andy Dalton. I don't know.
Another XFL stars.
Yeah, just
Mercedes. Well, yeah, since Aaron Rodgers is going, I don't see him going back to Green Bay.
N'Keal Harry didn't work out in Chicago, didn't work out in New England, might not work out in the league. Mark
XFL.
Ingram.
Late. I give him late in training camp, but I believe he almost done too.
Rex Burkhead, been around a while.
Oh yeah,
Blaine Gabbert.
done.
I don't know.
Done.
Raheem
Except-
Mostert had a good season. He would be a great running back for Chicago. If they can get him out of Miami, I didn't realize he was a free agent. I would throw some money at him. Dante Foreman's another one. He's a hard, tough running back. Josh Gordon, you blew it, bro. Like, it's just over. I'm not sorry you did it to yourself. You knew the rules and you refused to play by them. Like, you can't be mad at nobody but you.
I think Josh Gordon looks good in the XFL because of his talent is a little bit better than some of them people that in the league. But shout out to him. I'm not hating on him or anything in that nature. At least he's still able to play the game that he likes or loves.
I mean, I wish him the best. I just don't know that there's a real big future anywhere.
Oh no, his NFL. He's where he's at.
Yeah. So no, it's a lot of names on this list. Should be an exciting next week. By Thursday next week, we should know a lot more. I know it, but hey, he looked good, and maybe it was the Dolphin staff because they can't keep nobody healthy down there. So yeah, exciting times there. Exciting times in relation to the NFL and free agency. So definitely tune in to ASAP each and every day. We have a number of shows where we're highlighting and tracking stuff like that. If you cannot wait until Thursday to get your fix. Speaking of fix, Lonzo Ball cannot get right.
Ooh,
likely out for the season with no real explanation that I've heard that makes a lot of sense. So I guess we got to start asking, is it official? Is Lonzo Ball a bust?
Yeah, almost. I guess you can kind of almost put him in that category. But do you really consider injury as a bust? You know what I mean?
Greg Oden, he get the same criticism.
Well, yeah, I just felt like body wasn't meant to play sports, I guess. You know what I mean? Or body got too old quicker than than your age really is. Because, Greg Oden, he looked like he was about 50 coming to the league anyway.
He did. Old young man.
But it was like Lonzo Ball had high expectations. Lonzo Ball almost once he got that shooting together, that form together, it was like, man, Lonzo Ball is a different man. Everybody wanted him. He was a hot commodity, and now it's just like they can't figure out what's wrong with him. So he's most definitely on that. Yeah, you can say Ben Simmons the bust too.
Stop. That's the problem. People keep wanting to pile on Ben Simmons like Ben Simmons was always trash. Ben Simmons was a perennial all-star. We got to start putting respect on Ben Simmons' name. I know what we see today is not what Ben Simmons was, but Ben Simmons was never Lonzo Ball. Ben Simmons was a dog from the start. He's super talented. He just got mental problems. He just can't get right. But
that's a bust, right? He can't get right.
For his career, he's averaging 14.7, 7.8 rebounds, and 7.5 assists on 56% shooting. That's not a bust. Like, that's just not. That's a really, really good career for most people. 3-time All-Star, steals champ, All-NBA. No, we're not doing that. Rookie of the year, 2-time All-Defense, All-Rookie. Stop it.
Is that a Hall of Fame record?
No, he ain't a Hall of Famer. Stop. Well,
I'm just asking.
Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady are Hall of Famers. So the bar gets lowered when you start really looking at the names, but I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. And I don't know that he ever will because I just don't think he'll bounce back. Markelle Fultz has quietly bounced back. Obviously, getting out of that big Philly market, being the number one, has helped him. It might be Philly. Philly got a history of people with mental problems. Because Markelle Fultz just forgot how to shoot all of a sudden. He got to Philly. Ben Simmons never remembered how to shoot once he got to Philly, or left Philly. So I don't know. Philly might not. The brotherly love might be wearing on people's heads. They might gotta get that checked out. But I love the city of Philly. Graduated, not in graduate from Temple. I went to Temple, and I still go up there as much as I can. Love the city, but y'all got to get y'all people together. So yeah, my question: if you're saying he is a bust, is that it? Do we ever get Lonzo Ball back for real?
I don't think so. I just don't think so. Especially if his knees, after a while, we didn't get Grant Hill back. After a while, we almost didn't get Derrick Rose back. So and once you get down to these lower body injuries, man, it's hard to come back. We didn't get Brandon Roy back. So it's a lot of good players that we had a lot of high expectations for. So I don't think we get them back. I think that this might be it, especially if you can't figure out what's wrong with them.
Yeah. They've been losing their swag a little bit. I ain't gonna hold you. Tristan Thompson blew it up. Tristan Thompson humbled them women, and Ye didn't give him an easy time either. So I think they might have lost their power because Devin Booker's still been Devin Bookering, with or without the little girl. So I don't know. We'll see. And she a grown woman for what it's worth. But
why you call this little girl then?
He said Jenner girl, so it just put me in that mindset. But nah, they grown. What do we got? Let's get to it. No, we did. We kind of did talk about. No, we did talk about that. The Jets and how I feel about them. So we can get ready to wrap with this, and it would have been a lot better with Kenny here. But I think it's a valid conversation. Recently, they played, and the Kings won. But my question for you, Dev, is who is the current bigger surprise? The Knicks at the 6th spot, 10 games over 500, or the Kings in the 2nd spot, 14 games over 500?
The Kings. It's most definitely the Kings, man. Like, only you was the only person that believed in the Kings and whatever King fans that, they have. Because, we so used to saying, like, man, what the Kings is doing? Why the Kings is doing this? And they don't have good leadership. And they need to go ahead and sell the team and get rid of the team. The Kings ain't coming back. And the Kings are about to end this, 14-year drought, maybe? Something like that, of going to the playoffs. And they about to be a high seed. Like, wow. And the way Denver is falling, it's a possibility they might catch Denver in that 1 seed. So I'm most definitely shocked. I didn't most definitely see them this high in the West because the West is so packed and so stacked. And for these guys with this young group core that they have, De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, and with the addition of Malik Monk coming off the bench, man, they got something. Mike, what's the coach name? Mike Williams is showing that why he's a good coach in this league. You give him a good Mike core. Brown. Yeah, Mike Brown. Good core and he's winning. You know what I mean? Only stop he didn't really win was the Lakers because you didn't give him good pieces at that time. But now look what he's doing in Sacramento. So I'm most definitely surprised. The Knicks, they have if the Knicks was the number 2 seed in the East, it would have been a different story because I wouldn't believe just Jalen Brunson make that team that better. Now, it's good that Jalen Brunson got them out of the play-in or even into a playoff spot. That's good, but you still don't see the Knicks being the favorite in the East. It's like for the Kings, you might want to think about it. You know what I mean? If they can run with some of these teams In the West, like if they so happen to make it to the finals, you never know, man. They might can beat the East team.
Yeah. I was kind of looking at the schedule and the standings, and I think the issue, not the issue, the benefit or the value for the Kings right now is, if I look at Memphis, unproven. Denver, unproven. Phoenix has Durant, but outside of Durant, they got to the finals, but they lost. I don't know if you would say they're proven.
Right.
The Clippers, I'm a lock with them. Ty Lue, Kawhi Leonard, they're solid. Golden State, we know what Golden State is. Minnesota, not proven.
Mhm.
Dallas, even with Kyrie, not proven. Utah, Oklahoma City, and then we're out. So when I look at the current landscape of the West, it's two proven teams. I got the Clippers and the Warriors. Everybody else is really in a toss-up. None of them have really been there.
Right.
A couple of them have actually choked. Dallas went as the farthest last year, but now their team's completely different with Christian Wood and Kyrie.
Right.
With no Brunson. So that's not even the same team. Oklahoma City's at the 10 spot, unproven. Utah at the 9 spot, unproven. So if the Lakers don't make it, I mean, and there's no seeming timetable on Zion now that the Pelicans are now in the 12th spot. I just don't know.
Klay Thompson got 14 in the first quarter.
Clay, he cooking early.
4 from 6 from 3.
He gonna make me try and put some respect in his name. I respect
Warriors
it.
up
I appreciate
22-9.
it. Love to see it. They got the Suns. Let me get that on. I ain't even had that game on. Wow, the Celtics came all the way back. They're down 1 with 10 seconds left. Actually, I might see how that game ends. But now that I know that the Warriors game on, I'll check that out. 110-107, actually. So I'll if y'all don't have league pass, I'll try and play y'all this last 10 seconds. See if Boston can hit a 3 or tie the game, or if they catch this L, which would be a bad loss in Houston. But and these Rockets jerseys, they look like the Celtics. Yeah, you losing the teams that's not even on the outside looking in. That's the whole trash. Like y'all ain't even in the dance. So I actually, while we're waiting on this before we wrap up, I did want to pose this question. I am not a Ron Rivera fan, but I'm a fan of like humanity. We know what Eric Bieniemy represents. If you hear the reports that the Washington signed the Chiefs' former lineman, as if Eric Bieniemy made the decision, how do you feel as the head coach? Like, how long can this situation work where everybody believes Eric Bieniemy's waiting to take your job, and now management seemingly is making decisions that favor Bieniemy?
Well, I already said it. Once they said that he was an assistant head coach and an offensive coordinator, I said, well, Ron days up. No, but he got one screw up. One. That's it. He got one bullet left in the chamber. And then I think if he cannot choose a quarterback, if he can't go, if his whoever quarterback can't win him that first quarter of the season, he's gone. You know what I mean? He's going to be gone. I think that's the only reason why Eric Bieniemy took this job. I think that's the reason why he took this job over a lot of spots. He knew that Houston wasn't probably going to give him a chance to actually build his culture down there, so he didn't go down there. He knew that Andy Reid was going to be some time before he retired from Kansas City. So, and Andy Reid got full. It looked like Andy Reid got full control of everything except for being the GM up at Kansas City. So it was a toss up. Ron probably already know it too. You know what I mean? It's like, look, you got a quarter of the season to get it right. If you can't get it right, Doug, out you go. We got a young, brilliant mind that can run the offense, and we believe that it can run the team. So That's how I look at it.
I just feel like that makes for it's Washington doing RG3 and Kirk Cousins all over again. Like, pick one. If you want Ron, keep Ron. I don't like Ron. I think Ron should go. You can't really demote him and I get it, because Ron, I think, is a great leader of men. I think he's a great motivator, kind of in that, like, he's inspirational. Like, he beat cancer and all that. Great. But
Klay Thompson got 18 points leaving the first quarter with 3:50 left.
Because Klay saying, hey, I'm that man. And I respect it. Proving people wrong. When I get on here talking crazy, y'all have all, the ability to shut me up. So more power to him. And I think, oh man, I gotta check that. That'd be pretty cool if that happened. So yeah, that's all I got for you. I just think it makes it an awkward situation. I feel like we're redoing a bad mistake that we have already seen play out, and it didn't work well. So hopefully we can go ahead and move on from our guy Ron here shortly. It's been a pleasure, but as soon as the rookie Smith Jr. from Houston at the line, up 1 with 7.8, misses the first. Misses the first. It was a brick, wasn't even close. And this is what I be saying about having young players in these big moments. They're not proven. These are probably might be the biggest free throws he's ever taken in his life. And he didn't start well. Let's see if he knocks down the second one. He does. Swishes it. Nothing but bottoms. Boston will take a timeout. I will not hold y'all in suspense. Watch ESPN for the updates. We will be back on Thursday. Dev, talk to them. Where you at? Where can they find you? Where can they hear more of your information?
Oh, man, y'all already know. Y'all, my bad. Y'all already know y'all can find me on Spotify, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, and coming very, very soon, YouTube.
Ooh.
Yes, coming very soon. Coming straight to YouTube, where you get to see me more. You know what I mean? Yeah, stepping onto that platform, and that's why I'm most definitely gonna want you and Coach to hop on. Once I step onto that platform, most definitely need y'all to help me out on that. But for now, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. My 99th Thought is out. You can catch me on my Instagram at right here on the screen at MTMO_sports podcast. You can catch my my Facebook and my Twitter at my THTS, my opinion. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Episodes are gonna be dropping now officially on Thursdays.
Okay. Cool. Just quick update. Boston has the ball. They are about to inbound. That timeout was quicker. White has it, passes it to Tatum. 2-point game. Tatum off the dribble to the basket, and he blows the layup.
Oh!
The layup, ladies and gentlemen. Houston gets the dub. What up? That was actually pretty exciting end there. Good for them. Also, Anthony, I don't know. Anthony, if you've been watching this long enough, I am a Taylor Heineke fan. I would obviously take Lamar Jackson over him, but I'm all for letting him come and compete. So hopefully they let him do that, and we'll see what happens in Washington. I think Taylor Heineke has proven he can take you to the playoffs. Like, that's just a fact. I'm not making something up. Like, he did that. So we'll see what happens, but much respect. Y'all have a blast. Stay safe, stay warm. Don't get slapped, and tune in next Thursday. We got more coming for you. Take care.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.